We are going to learn object-oriented methodologies of software design and modeling. Before starting with the lecture, let me introduce myself. I am Poonam Mahale, Assistant Professor working in Kekewa College of Engineering Education and Research. So let's start with the lecture. Before starting with the lecture, we'll see the objective of today's lecture. At the end of today's lecture, you are going to understand the object-oriented methodologies. Then you are going to learn the basics of Unified Modeling Language, that is UML. Let's start with the lecture. So the title of our today's video lecture is Object Oriented Methodology. So what exactly the object oriented methodology is? Object oriented methodology consists of models and the methods. So it is a set of models, methods, rules for developing a system. It includes the important aspects for analysis and design as like object oriented programming concepts. So as we have seen, it deals with the models and methods as well as the rules for developing the system. So we'll understand the concepts of models and method. Basically, model and design plays an important role for good software development. Model act as a blueprint for entire software development lifecycle. If model or graphical representation of particular system is correct or appropriate, then only the ultimate product is correct and good in quality. So model describes about the current and proposed system. Model is a pictorial representation or a graphical representation. The software model, whatever we are going to develop, that are used in all the phases of software lifecycle. Model helps us to understand system easily. Again, we have seen object oriented methodology includes the one term is nothing but methods. So there are different methods developed during 1980s and 1990s. So what are that methods? We'll see. In 1986, a Booch scientist derived one method which is a object oriented method, and that method is called as an O design concept, which is also known as an Booch method. In 1987, Sally and Steve developed one O oriented approach which is known as an recursive design concept. In 1989, Beck and Cunningham developed a class responsibility collaboration related model which is known as an CRC card. In 1990s, a Brockvenier developed one O method which is known as a responsibility driven method and is called as an RDD. In 1991, Ramberg defined one method, that is object modeling technique, is also known as an OMT approach for object orientation. In 1991 itself, Pella defined one method which is called as an load lightweight prototype oriented approach, which is useful in object oriented methodology, which deals with object oriented paradigm. In 1994, Jacobson developed one method which is known as an object oriented software engineering. It uses a use cases and OSE approach. All these methods are stated that are same or that are somewhat same, but there are slight difference in certain OMT methodologies or certain technologies. So we'll see one by one each method in detail. First, Ramberg defined one approach which is known as an OMT. So we are going to learn OMT method in detail. OMT, that is object modeling technique. Object modeling technique is a fast technique for identifying and modeling objects for a system design. OMT describes a method for analysis, design, and implementation of system using object-oriented technique. The details like class diagrams, class, attributes, methods, inheritance, etc. can be expressed in easily manner by using OMT method. It is a fast approach for identifying the different objects in a system. As we know, it is used to express the attributes, methods, and association. It OMT object modeling technique consists four phases. Four phases are performed iteratively in OMT. That four phases are nothing but an analysis, system design, object design, and implementation. Analysis phase is nothing but the result of analysis are object, dynamic, and functional models. In the analysis phase, the analysis is carried out and the output of analysis phase are nothing but an objects and the functional and dynamics model. In the second phase, that is nothing but an system design. System design results are a structure of basic architecture of the system along with high level strategy design decisions. So here system design are considered and the system architecture is generated. Third is nothing but an object design. Object design phase consists it produce a design documents. It also produce a detailed objects or a design document are generated which consists a detailed objects. Static and dynamic functional models are derived by using object design phase. In the last phase is nothing but an implementation phase. It is similar with your construction phase of SDLC where we produce actual code or the construction start. So produce reusable, extensible and robust code. OMT separates modeling into three parts. First is nothing but an object model, second is nothing but an dynamic model, and third is functional model. We'll see one by one each models. First is nothing but an object model. Object model basically describes the structure of object in the system. Object model are presented by object model and data dictionary. Examples: it describes the structure of object in the system. It identifies the relationship to their objects. It also identifies the attributes and the operation. So the example of object model is different classes and its relationships are derived in the object model. Basically, the object model is graphically represented by object diagram, which establish the relationships among classes and it sets the link between the classes, which is known as an association. Object diagram contains classes connected by association lines. Object diagram contains classes which are connected by association lines. Each each represents a set of individual objects. Object model considers object diagram. So a diagram is an example of object model. That diagram is known as an object diagram. So this is an example of object diagram. Here classes are considered client, account and transaction. These three classes are connected by association lines. So associations are shown. Along with that, in this diagram a specialization is also shown. So different classes are connected with each other. Classes are having relationship between them and that relationship is known as an association, or there are types of relationship that we are going to learn under a class diagram. Next model is nothing but a dynamic model. Dynamic model state the different states, transitions, actions and event flow. Dynamic model are presented by a state diagram and event flow diagram, which consist of different events and dynamics objects. So to show a runtime objects or a dynamic object, we can use a dynamic model. Dynamic model is used to represent the state transition diagram is used for representing dynamic model, which is nothing but a collection of different states and events. Each state receive one or more events, transitions to a next state. After occurring a certain event, then only transition from one state to another state is possible. Next state is depend on the current state as well as the event. Suppose consider there are two states. Example, I am in third year class. Second state is nothing but an B, that is last year class. So these are the two states, T and B. The transition from T to B is possible only when the pass event will occur. So if a one student is pass, then only he can transit from third year to final year. So likewise, next state is depend on the current state as well as the event that will occur, right? So dynamic model is represented by using state diagram. So this is an example of dynamic model. So state diagram is explained, or state diagram is shown over here. Here nothing is selected, or these round corner rectangles are nothing but an your states, whereas arrows represents the event. When certain event occur, or transition lines are shown that are nothing but an event. So when certain event occur, then only transition from one state to another is possible. Next is nothing but an functional model. Functional model are presented by your data flow diagram and constraint. Example, different process descriptions and consumer-producer relationships can be shown using functional model. So functional model explains the different data flow between a process in a system with the help of data flow diagram. Functional model, it gives a simple description about processes without focusing on the detailed interaction of the system. In the functional model, we don't bother about the interaction or the interaction flow. Basically, we consider the process and the system description. Process description. So, for the functional description, we use a data flow model. So DFD mainly consists four primary parts. As we have already seen in the software engineering, data flow diagram consists four parts, that is nothing but an process, data flow, data stored and external entity. Process is shown by the circle or the round. Then data flow is nothing but an, that means a flow from one particular phase to another is shown by the arrow. Then data stored is nothing but an database is represented by the two horizontal bars, and the external entity is represented by a rectangle. So this is an example of data flow diagram. Here ATM card, reader, user keyboard entry, these are nothing but an external entities, whereas an account is an database and the processes are shown in the circle. And the transition from entity or the communication between the entity and the process is shown by the arrow, and that is nothing but an data flow. So in today's lecture we have learned about Rambach method, which is nothing but an object modeling technique. Under that we have seen the three models: object model, dynamic model and functional model. Hope you learn OMT technique. Thank you for watching.